Good morning. It is Wednesday, June the 18th, and it is time for our New Testament reading. Today, we are in Acts chapter 2, reading verses 1 through 21. And in today's reading, we have what we read a couple weeks ago at Pentecost. We have the coming down of the Holy Spirit, and comes into this room with all these people, and there's flames on their heads, and they're speaking in all kinds of different languages. It's crazy. And then Peter will address the crowd. So let's get into the reading and see what it says. When the day of Pentecost had come, they were all together in one place. And suddenly a sound came from heaven like the rush of a mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. Then there appeared to them tongues as of fire, distributed and resting on each one of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. Now there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men from every nation under heaven. At this sound the multitude came together, and they were bewildered, because each one heard them speaking in his own language. And they were amazed and wondered, and saying, Are not all these people who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear each of us in our own native language? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and residents of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia, Pamphylia, Egypt, and the parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene, the visitors of Rome, both Jews and proselytes, Cretans and Arabians, we hear yelling in their own tongues for the mighty works of God. And all were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, What does this mean? But the others mocking said, They are filled with new wine. But Peter, standing with the 11, lifted up his voice and addressed them, Men of Judea and all who dwell in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and give ear to my words. For these men are not drunk as you propose, since it is only the third hour of the day, but this is what was spoken by the prophet Joel. And in the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Yes, and on my men servants and my maid servants in those days I will pour out my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I shall show wonders in the heaven above, and signs on the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the day of the Lord comes, the great and manifest day. And it shall be that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved.